Yeah, everybody out there. I want to thank everybody for tuning into the show today. We have a very interesting show lined up for you guys today. Today, I'm going to do a little bit of exposing. This morning I woke up, Instagram told me that one of my posts violated their terms because it incited violence. On none of these shows and none of my posts do I advocate the physical violence to anyone that has a difference of opinion. If anything, you often hear me frown upon it. So with that being said, I got some people to expose. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and y'all going to do this. Please do remember that the New Right Party channel and the New Red Party show is sponsored by patriots like you. And as long as you're sending these donations, it allows me to create the content that will continue to make these motherfuckers sick. As you were.
He's on fire!
Difference is the family and my family entertainment and his team no sleep. Flossy high and yeah we made it. The haters keep on hating on the songs that we be making, and I heard they want my soul. Illuminati wanna take it. Difference is the family and my family entertainment and his team no sleep. Flossy high and yeah we made it. The haters keep on hating on the songs that we be making, and I heard they want my soul. Illuminati wanna take it.
CEO, bullshit, He paying for the pussy, I endorse it. Riding through the city, that's my off.
People, it is your brother Tony X in the building. Please. Thank you. You make a little echo there. Alright. So, today we're going to do two things. I'm going to do a little exposing. Alright? I got to do that. I got to do that. Right? I got to do that. I got to do a little exposing. It's only right. I got to. These guys are like pushing me around, and they don't understand that. I'm a skinny guy, but I'm Bruce Lee skinny. I'm gonna push back. I'm not gonna let you guys just push me around. I'm just not gonna let that happen. So Tucker Carlson, the good brother Tucker Carlson, he did a show, and the show. Hold on, let me set this up. It should have been set up. It's crazy, but the show was about Google. So there are some things that happened afterwards where he had sort of a debate, and I like Tucker, but in some forms he's not going to win them. He's not going to win them because he doesn't have all the information. literally kill me. Hold on, guys. Give me 1 second. I'm kind of having a difficulty over here with this preparation. Let me see now if I can pull up. Let's see now. Give me 1 second. Tucker was talking about how Google invested into Hillary Clinton's campaign. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm definitely trying to get this window open, but here it is right here. Okay, now we have the window open. Okay. And there we go. And I'm going to say this, YouTube, fair use. Fair use. Okay? I know for a fact that I'm able to critique this program without any hindrance. And any hindrance would violate my rights. But allow me to get some play in here real quick, if you will. Hold on, Tucker, hold on, you're going fast. Hold on, man, there she goes.
We now know he considered perjury charges against Hillary Clinton.
But first tonight, an exclusive investigation from this show. For 2 years, the alleged threat that Russia poses to our elections has been official Washington's obsession. The usual business of government has come to a halt as Democrats and their allies in the press fret that Russian agents may be interfering with our democracy. The root of these fears, a handful of Russian ads on Facebook that almost nobody saw, and a small number of efforts to hack Democratic Party.
See, they told you that there were Facebook posts by Russia, and that's the main reason why they're trying to say Russia had interference with the election, because it can't be Donald Trump's end. There is no collusion.
Email accounts. Now let's assume that all these deeply worried people are sincere, that they really care about the integrity of our democracy. Then why has almost nobody said anything about the tech monopolies that now dominate the exchange of information in this country?
Because the tech companies are directly controlling the puppet that they're calling politicians. Now, as I've explained before yesterday in the show, these large corporations take their funds and they get lobbyists who are people that we are actually electing. And these people are getting what the big companies are asking for law-wise to protect their right to continue to infringe upon us and take our money from us and use our information against us and steal our most visited areas and steal our pictures and conversations and send them to fusion centers. That's the reason why they're able to do it, because they're working hand in hand together. The government owns Facebook. They also own Google. Who owns it? The CIA. Go to the bottom of Facebook. Look at the very bottom of it when you're going to sign in, and you will see that it says CIA at the very bottom of it. The same people that are trying to destroy our president. The reason why Tucker isn't coming out and saying it is because Tucker may be afraid. Tony X isn't.
If a few dozen Facebook ads are enough to subvert an election, shouldn't we be worried about Facebook itself, which controls literally billions of ads? A couple of times on this show, social scientist Robert Epstein has pointed out that...
See, he's smart. He can't come out and directly tell you. So he does great shows like this. So you think. So you look. So you do the research. So I'm not trying to shoot my brother down because my brother's doing one hell of a job. I'm just trying to say he can't come out directly and say it. They will really try to take his job from him. It's different for him than it is for Tony X. Tony X is on the collision with them. I'm trying to show you guys by making them expose themselves daily.
Google alone could determine the outcome of almost any American election just by altering its search suggestions. We'd never know what happened. Oh, say tech defenders, don't worry. These are businesses. They exist to make money, not to push political agendas. It turns out that's not true, and we can prove it. An email obtained exclusively by this show reveals that a senior Google employee deployed the company's resources to increase voter turnout in ways she believed would help the Clinton campaign win in the last election. The email we obtained came from a woman named Eliana Murillo, the former head of Google's multicultural marketing department. She sent the email on November 9th, 2016. That was one day after the presidential election. That
one day after, people.
Email was subsequently forwarded by 2 Google vice presidents to more staff members throughout the company. In her email, Murillo touts Google's multifaceted efforts to boost Hispanic turnout in the election. She notes that Latinos voted in record-breaking numbers, especially in states like Florida, Nevada, and Arizona, the last of which she describes as, quote, a key state for us. She brags that the company used its power to ensure that millions of people saw certain hashtags and social media impressions with the goal of influencing their behavior during the election. Elsewhere in the email, Murillo says Google, quote, supported partners like Voto Latino to pay for rides to the polls in key states. She describes this assistance as, quote, a silent donation. Murillo then says that Google helped Voto Latino create ad campaigns to promote those rides. Now, officially, Voto Latino is a nonpartisan entity, but that is a sham. Voto Latino is vocally partisan. Recently, the group declared that Hispanics, all Hispanics, are in President Trump's, quote, crosshairs. They said they plan to respond to this by registering another 1 million additional Hispanic voters in the next presidential cycle. Voto Latino is a group with clear political goals, goals that Google supported in 2016. We asked both Google and Voto Latino for clarification. What exactly did Murillo mean by a silent donation? This is a potentially significant legal question. Neither company responded to us. At the end of her email, Murillo makes it clear that Google was working to get Hillary Clinton elected. This wasn't a get out the vote effort, whatever they say. It was not aimed at all potential voters. It wasn't even aimed at a balanced cross-section of subgroups. Google didn't try to get out the vote among, say, Christian Arabs in Michigan or Persian Jews in Los Angeles. They sometimes vote Republican. It was aimed only at one group, a group that Google cynically assumed would vote exclusively for the Democratic Party. Furthermore, this mobilization effort targeted not the entire country, but swing states vital to the Hillary campaign. This was not an exercise in civics. This was political consulting. It was, in effect, an in-kind contribution to the Hillary Clinton for President campaign. In the end, Google was disappointed. As Murillo herself conceded, quote, ultimately, after all was said and done, the Latino community did come out to vote and completely surprised us. We never anticipated...
I'm sick, but it's funny still. It's funny still that they use the world's largest company, digital company, internet providing company in the world. And they also paid $100 million to Black Lives Matter, $300 million to the LGBTQRXTUVWXYNZ communities. And this is not against anyone who's gay. It's just ridiculous that you guys have a flag and shit, because straight people don't have a flag. You know, I mean, whatever you do in your bedroom is just totally your business. And I can't even understand this shit, but okay. I do respect your wishes to whatever, okay? But they also paid these Latino groups, Voto Latino. And these guys were completely surprised. They used all of the media channels, but 2. They used all of the publications, news, papers, but 1. Yo, listen, and they still lost 29% of the Latino vote.
anticipated that 29% of Latinos would vote for Trump. No one did. If you see a Latino Googler in the office, please give them a smile. They are probably hurting right now. You can rest assured that the Latinos of these blue states need your thoughts and prayers for them and their families. I had planned a vacation and thought I would be taking the time to celebrate. Now it will be time to reflect on how to continue to support my community through these.
Now that bitch gotta sit in the house. It feels stupid. I'm still sick from the mall rally, people. I'm still getting over it, man. Don't worry about me, man. But listen, she had a vacation planned. I did too. I caught a cold for my vacation. From her, she caught heartache and pain. I eat this strawberry, organic, freshly picked. Feeling good knowing that there was a Trump Thanos out there. And he took the mighty gauntlet. And although he doesn't have all the stones, it's quite certain there's 2 stones that he's acquired. And that's the Strength Stone and the Soul Stone. He has the Soul Stone and the Strength Stone. He can't just snap it the way he wants to. But it's so funny to see him throw Barack over that damn cliff, isn't it? Because he actually beat Barack Obama too. Let's not forget that. Barack Obama said, and I quote, if you don't go out and vote, you don't go, you're gonna, that's against my legacy. I'm Barack Obama. I can give a fuck about Chicago. You niggers cannot totally think for yourself. You need me to think for you. You don't want to vote Donald Trump. He doesn't have a magical wand. He's not gonna wave it around and bring back jobs. I fucking sold all the jobs. Michelle, put that thing away. You know about us. Barack, and I'm telling you, if you're black, you need to go vote for Hillary. She's not done robbing you yet. We're not done taking everything that you have. And they've guaranteed me a great seat where I can lick some boots and possibly still exist when they're throwing you niggers in ovens. That's all I have to say about that. Trump has the stone, the Soul Stone, and the Strength Stone. I think he got 3 stones, though. I think Trump got 3 stones. It's 6 stones he needs. I think Trump got 3 stones. What other stone would Trump have? I think he has the Mind Stone, too. Yeah. That's the stone Vision had. The Mind Stone. I think he has the Mind Stone, too. I believe that he does. Donald Trump has 3 stones in his infinity gauntlet. He is a titan that has come to wash the earth of the so-called new gods. Because only a titan can kill a god. That's why. I once considered myself such, and then I realized that I was shortchanging myself because I know that I'm a titan my damn self. Because only titans kill gods. Here, the media doesn't exist. Only we do. And every time they shortchange my show, or they go in and they do their best to change the channel or stop the footage, it further shows that a man with less than 7,000 subscribers is really getting more action than that. I wonder how many people are trying to find the channel that they're not even showing the channel to. That's Tiger, my cat. He's very, very hyped about the show. He's well aware of these soy boys sitting in their offices looking at Tony. I chose not to wear a shirt today because it's hot under the lights. I want you guys to look at the guy that's sitting here, because it's not a guy that's 6'5", 250 pounds. You know, I used to be 200 pounds. I used to like to be that big when I was younger. Then I realized it was slowing me down. Feel great. Run a mile flat out without even thinking about a win. Smoke weed as much as I want. And I can fuck until the sun comes up. Non-stop. I'm a champion. But above all of that, I'm American. We will not let you cowards take this country. I love being able to fuck when I want to. I don't drink, but shit, I love the fact that my friends can crack a fucking beer and pull out the fucking grill and throw shit on it and play music and fucking party after busting our ass Monday through fucking Friday at work. You know, the shit you people really don't do. The politicians are going in there and becoming millionaires for doing absolutely nothing at all. Period. They're squandering our money and taking it and putting it in their pockets, and they're greasing everybody along the way. They have turned their back on our real law enforcement officers and seem to blame every incident on every single officer, as if every fucking cop is responsible for someone who's done something bad. Currently, there was an officer that shot a young black man in Dallas, Texas. And it's unfortunate because the black man had great promise, and I'm very, very sorry, and I send my condolences to his mother. But I promise you, I swear on my father's grave, I swear on my life if I'm lying to you, on more than 3 occasions, I have walked into my building and walked up the stairs and literally went to the 3rd floor and went, but I never knocked. I think one time I did, but then I realized, and then I went upstairs because I realized it was the wrong door. But it happened to me a few times. Should she go to jail for it? Absolutely. Because as an officer, I feel like she should have been trained. Is it manslaughter? Absolutely. Is it 1st-degree murder? Absolutely not. I do not believe that. I don't believe that after going to work a whole entire day, this woman wanted to come home from work to go shoot a black man. That I do not believe. I don't. Will she pay for what she did? Absolutely. She will be held accountable. Why? Because there's a media and a black mob out there that do not let the judicial system work the way it's supposed to. Now, I understand in a lot of cases, there are cases where cops should have went to jail, and a lot of times that happened in New York City, and the dudes who definitely choked out damn, I forgot the brother's name. But y'all know who I'm talking about. They should have went to jail. Dudes who shot Amadou or and the dude who did the plunger shit, everybody should have went to jail. You feel me? There's definitely a culture of corruption. But those corrupted areas are democratic areas. This is what I need black people to understand. This is what I need you to understand. This is where it happens. And this is where it happens the most. Because they're giving the liberal right to enforce policies in your community more stringent than any other communities. And why does this happen? Because you're voting Democratic. That's why. There are more precincts in your neighborhoods than any other neighborhoods in the cities in which you're in. There are more precincts in Brooklyn, New York than there is in Manhattan. There are more precincts in the urban areas of Brooklyn, New York than there are that outside of Brooklyn, New York. I promise you that. They police the black neighborhoods. They go there with their tickets and everything else they can to keep you down. When you talk about a white man keeping you down, look at Homo Cuomo. That's who. Barack Obama was your president for 8 years, and not once did he do anything about the shit that he talked about when it came to the disparities between individuals being locked up. And those disparities exist in democratic fucking neighborhoods. They don't want you to know them statues they trying to tear down are democratic statues of democratic Confederates. Straight assholes. Al Gore Sr. was a known Confederate. His father was a Confederate. He was a segregationist. He voted against desegregation. How could Al Gore be any different from his father? I'll wait. Soul Stone, Strength Stone, and the Mind Stone. Trump panels.
Than Mario. Google tried to get Hillary elected. They failed this time. We reached out to Google. The company did not deny that the email was real or that it showed a clear political preference. Their only defense was that the activities it described were either nonpartisan or weren't taken officially by the company. But of course they were both. Plenty of people in Google knew what was going on, and we've seen no evidence that anyone at Google disapproved of it or tried to rein it in. 2 years later, Google is more powerful than it's ever been, and the left has increasingly become radical in what it is willing to do to regain political power. What could Google be doing this election cycle to support its...
Trying to stop Tony X.
...preferred candidates. What could they do in 2020? It is a question almost nobody in Washington seems interested in even asking. They ought to be interested. Mark Stein is an author and a columnist.
I like to call Mark Stein White Chocolate. So whenever you hear my brother White Chocolate talk, you shut the fuck up. So I'm not going to interrupt White Chocolate before White Chocolate talk. You have some motherfucking respect for White Chocolate when he say what he say. Because this is one motherfucker that get, you know how I get my Rick James on? He get his Bruce Springsteen on. Let him just go. White Chocolate, I'm going to let you have it.
He joins us tonight. So, Mark, the outlines of this are really clear. Google is the most powerful company in the history of the world. They have a chokehold on all human information. They can clearly guide the outcome of an election if they chose to do so. They tried to influence the last election. Why shouldn't we be deeply concerned about this?
Well, we should be deeply concerned. As you said, Russia, everyone goes bananas about, because they bought 100 grand's worth of Facebook ads or whatever it was. Google is already more powerful in terms of its control over people's lives than almost every government on the planet. And I would say, arguably, it has more control over American lives than, say, the government of Russia does as a practical matter. And people are very naive about Google searches. They think that it doesn't, whether you're in a hotel in Des Moines or whether you're hanging upside down in your bondage dungeon in Poughkeepsie, when you enter the search results, everything's the same. As this lady, Eliana Murillo, has explained, they're actually capable of now targeting election content specifically to certain voting groups. So this isn't like, rock the vote or public attempts to get out the vote. This is where the world's most powerful company is using data mining to channel partisan election information to key voting demographics. That's very disturbing because they'd steal the election and you'd never know it.
Well, what's so interesting to me is the left has been very agitated for the past 6 or 7 years about Citizens United and the influence of money on politics. I don't think all of their concerns are stupid, by the way. But this is the example. This is the most powerful influencer of elections, potentially, the world has ever known. And I don't think I've ever heard a single liberal say anything about Google's effect on elections, subverting our democracy. No. Why is that?
Well, because I think for the obvious reason that they're doing it for, as Eliana Murillo would say, for our side, for our team, for the left's team, for liberalism's team, and that's very different. In a sense, there's something quaintly old-fashioned about the citizens. You know, Jeb Bush blew $100 million to get to 2.4% in Iowa, the old-fashioned way, by sticking up billboards and making robocalls and all the rest of it. What if you had a monopoly on people's access to information, and without them even knowing about it, just when they happen to open up their phone or their laptop in the morning, you were able to direct them to your candidate without anybody knowing it? That's far more important. That's far more scary. The implications are absolutely terrible. And this memo is absolutely terrible in what it reveals about Google. You know, the silent donation bit is very interesting because, as you say, it has legal implications. Yep. Whatever legal implications they are, they're a lot more solid than whether some guy's paid off some porn star, just to take a random example.
I hope our elected officials pay attention to this. Mark, we'll see you later in the show. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Tucker.
Google, of course, is...
That was White Chocolate. I want to thank him for being on the show.
It's one of several big tech monopolies, and not the only one worth worrying about. Amazon.
I want to tell you that I do have some things that I have to order off of Amazon today. But after today, I will not be using Amazon to order my supplies anymore. I will be possibly playing a little bit more on eBay if I have to, because this is what Amazon does. See, Tucker can't get the full explanation of it. So let me just give it to you real quick. Amazon doesn't hire people, the majority of their workers. They don't give them over 40 hours or over. What they do is they, in California especially, they use temp agencies. And with the temp agencies guarantees them work. So they move around the individuals within the agencies, from Amazon to a medical supply company to Tesla, there's other large companies there that they move their workforce around to, and there are tons, and I mean tons and tons of temp agencies in California. So they don't give the workers 40 hours. Most workers aren't there long enough to collect any kind of real health benefits while they're there, and all of them have to meet a protocol. And if they don't meet the protocol, then they're removed from there within days. They don't even give them the usual 2-week time to be there. They will remove them within days and put somebody else in position to take it. So that's the reason why Amazon will always cite their large employee rate, but this through partnerships with people that are getting paid off of the workers in the first place. When you go to temp agencies, the temp agencies are making money on top of your money. That's first and foremost. Okay? And the temp agency is the reason why you're not getting the 40 hours a week in most cases. Because most individuals who work for the temp agencies never receive 40 hours a week. That's the reason why they have to get on food stamps. That's the reason why some are sleeping in their cars, are having to move out of their homes and everything else, and sleep with family members and so on and so forth. And it has to happen because they're not actually getting hours. They're working, but it's not enough to sustain their living conditions. Because in California, the taxes are so fucking high. They're paying out their ass for illegal immigration. People like Maxine Waters, Camilla, I think Harris is this bitch's name, are millionaires, live in $1 million homes. They're not around black people. These bitches' wigs and weaves are worth hundreds and even thousands of dollars. And they're talking about they're working for black people. No, they're not. They're selling us out. Let them get in a little bit. Really, what I'm going to do is this. Hold on, matter of fact. Yeah, she talks about being in her car. I get it, but let me just get into Maxine Waters, because I have to get into her.
From that cabinet, in a restaurant, in a department store.
Now, I'm going to say,
Well, it's taken some time and probably...
I don't advocate violence on my show. I don't advocate violence on my show. But if you see Maxine Waters and you so happen to have a gop of spit on you,
with some focus groups, but Democrats are finally coalescing around a message for the 2018 midterms: vote for us or else. This summer, Congresswoman Maxine Waters urged her supporters to harass Trump officials if they dare to appear in public.
If you see anybody from...
I will tell you this. If you see me and you listen to this bitch, you're going to get yourself knocked out.
that cabinet, in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome.
But that was too moderate. So this weekend, Waters doubled down, saying she threatens Trump supporters all the time.
And of course, the lying president said that I had threatened all of his constituents.
This bitch look like the Crypt Keeper in a good way. This bitch look like Nelson Mandela out the grave right now. This bitch look like every black man over 80 ball sack. She look like the raisinette that never made it big. She look like everything that came out of an old maxi pad. She look like Oscar the Grouch. She's so ugly. She's so ugly. Oh my God, she's so ugly. She's scary. She's so scary. She's just as scary as if Hillary would have got elected. Oh my God, that bitch is ugly, scary.
Constituents. I did not threaten.
Look at her little chomo sitting there. Hey, yo, Pablo, you gonna sauce up with me later, baby? And I'm Puerto Rican. I can say this shit. I'm not racist. Fuck out of here. I can make fun of these little soy boys if I fucking want to, too. If these little punk-ass pussies could stand there fixing his little gay-ass cufflink while this bitch sit there and threaten me, well, fuck them, too. No, Pablo, I'm not gonna sauce a dance for you later. You crazy? I got to wash Maxine Waters' wig out, man. You know that bitch sweat a lot.
His constituents, his supporters.
All these constituents and supporters, I want to just tell you that my name is Maxine Waters, and I am a piece of shit. I live in a $1 million mansion, and over 50,000 of my constituents live in poverty. I'm a dumb black bitch. Don't mind me because I don't have my wig on.
Do that all the time, but I didn't do it that time.
She look like a nutsack with a smile.
I do it all the time. She gets points for directness. Well, not all Democrats are saying that out loud. Some are taking a more expansive view. Vote for us or the world will end.
Oh,
Frankly,
shit. Oh, fuck. You heard that shit? He definitely got the Mind Stone.
Democracy is on the ballot because this is not simply an election about right versus left. This is an election about right versus wrong.
This is a genuine constitutional crisis.
I'm here to deliver a simple message, and that is that you need to vote because our democracy depends on it.
Because our democracy, I am... Oh, wait, let me get his voice. I am Barack Hussein Obama. You need to vote. And when you vote, vote red. Because if you don't, I'm going to get in that ass again. I'm going to let a bunch of black people kill themselves. More than we do in wars. And I'm going to stand by, watch it happen, do absolutely nothing about it.
Well, some sad media figures like Carl Bernstein are cheering on apocalyptic warnings as a valid political message. Watch.
It is time for the Republicans to say the Trump presidency is a national emergency.
Look at this motherfucker's ears. He looked like everything gone wrong inside some poor man's nutsack. God damn. I know when he came out, they felt like he was the penguin. They was looking at him like, do we throw his ass off a cliff or do we just hide him until he's old enough to come outside and fend for himself? I don't know. Do you know? He looks like a albino chimp with glasses. He does. Tell me he doesn't. Tell me he doesn't look like Planet of the Apes. Like he doesn't look like one of the old Planet of the Apes guys. Tell me I'm wrong. Look, tell me I'm wrong. That's a horrible tie. That's how you can tell that he's a liberal. First of all, his suit is trash. How dare he come on there looking like that? He should, man. He looks. Man, this is just horrible, man. Let me just
see. And it is up to
he looked like Planet of the Apes when he talked too.
Us both parties to treat the Trump presidency as a national
presidency as monkey is wood.
Emergency.
No buffoons on parade. Rachel Ritchie is a former press secretary for the House Democratic Policy and Communications Committee, and she joins us tonight. Thanks so much.
She was good with the spin, but she wouldn't have won with me. Now watch. I'm going to show you why.
For coming on, Rachel. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Tucker.
So, I kind of, as someone who's interested in words and ideas and messages, I've been waiting with bated breath to find out, what are they going to run on? What is the idea? And it's the kind of mafia standby, vote for us or else.
Well, that's the thing.
Is that going to work, do you think?
You have senior officials right now writing op-eds in the New York Times saying that they're trying to protect our democracy. So this notion that you're hearing from Kerry or that you're hearing from Obama, that our democracy is on the ballot, it's not rooted in fear. It's rooted in fact.
It's not rooted in fact. It's rooted in fear. She's smiling, and she has prepared herself for the questions so she can have her own talking points. The thing about Tucker is he doesn't have the black it to call her on the bullshit. Watch.
So do you find it, just since I'm a connoisseur of irony, I'm going to ask.
Right then and there, I would have said to her, okay, if that's the case, why is a president currently involving himself in the election process, an ex-president? Second, why is it that all the major news media outlets are calling our president a racist, yet they're actually never giving us proof that he's a racist? Why is the news media allowed to call him a racist and a Nazi, but it's not fear-mongering? Who would you fear if not this individual?
Ask you if you've perceived this too.
And then I would tell her, give me 3 things that proves President Trump is a racist.
The people who say they're concerned about our, quote, democracy are also the ones saying that Trump should be removed from office without an election.
And then I would also say to that point, and then Mike Pence would be president. How is there a win for them?
Do you see any kind of contradiction there?
Well, look, here's the thing. The Main Street Democrats are not really toting this impeachment message. I think that's what you're getting at. You hear Maxine Waters saying...
No, not the impeachment. No, the 25th Amendment. No, the idea... Impeachment is a process. There's a trial. The Senate can convict, which I think, it's constitutional. I think it's legitimate, personally.
Well, look,
but the idea that the cabinet can come together and just, decide you can't be president, what do you think? Is that a democratic impulse, do you think, calling for something like that?
Look, clearly it's not a democratic impulse when you have senior White House officials in the White House under a Republican president being the ones that are talking about the 25th Amendment. I don't think that's it. But let's talk about fear-mongering for a second.
No. I just want to be honest. Hold on, wait. Let me just say, it's not a partisan thing. There are tons of Republicans in Washington who dislike democracy as much as the Democrats do. I'm certainly not blaming just the Democrats. A lot of Republicans don't think voters should have a role in these questions. Well, then what do you think of the idea that the cabinet a group of unelected people could just say, I don't think he should be president, and depose the president. Are you comfortable with that?
I mean, it's in the Constitution. Like, we can't change the Constitution. It's in our Constitution.
But would you say that's a... Oh, okay, sure it is. I guess, sort of. It's not exactly clear what it says. But do you think... Well, it's not. It's never been tried, and it is, but it's not clear what the criteria for removal are. But let me get to the deeper point, which is, do you think that that's a democratic thing to want? That a bunch of unelected people can just decide that someone's no longer president? That's not democracy, is it? Constitutional or not?
Well, look, I think that if you have senior White House officials, I don't necessarily agree with what's being done. I think this person is not a hero that wrote this op-ed. I think that if they want to come forward, they need to do that instead of hiding behind the cape and mask.
That's why she's dangerous.
Of the New York Times. I do think that they need to come forward, but there is a process to use when it comes to the 25th Amendment.
And if the Democrats were smart, they would have saw that a long time ago, but they're dumb. And if she ever does show her head, I'll be there. Just say my name, honey!
An impeachment.
So do you think that if Carl Bernstein doesn't like you, that you should be allowed to be president? I guess it kind of comes down to that.
I think that if the American people vote, then whoever wins the presidency, that is the person that is going to be president.
Oh, when there you go. Now we're back to democracy. I'm for that. Okay,
right. Good. I think most of us are, right? But when you're talking about...
I thought that.
Right. But when you're talking about fear-mongering, I was listening to some of the tape or the sound that you had playing, and people were saying apocalyptic. Let's remember that it is President Trump that said that there is going to be violence in the streets of America if the Republicans do not win the midterms. The stock market is going to crash. Everyone's going to be poor. So if...
He didn't say there will be violence in the streets if we lost. What he's explaining is that, and this is where it would have been hard for her to win. What I would have said was, it's not a fearmonger. It's him exposing the fact that there is a government within our government working against the people. And the people will not stand for it. And that's just the president indirectly telling you what's going to happen. Because he understands why he was elected. It's not about fear. Fear is when you say something that you can't prove. But we can literally prove the success of the country to President Trump. It's already been proven already. Obama had nothing to do with what's happening right now. Obama bailed out banks. He took a loan from the Central World Bank on our behest. Our birth certificates are our bonds. That's our guarantee that we will pay this money. We are all in debt. Close to $100,000 in average. Every American. And it continues to go up. But stop just a little because of Donald Trump. He bailed out the banks, and the banks never paid him back. He bailed out the motor industry. They never paid him back. No one gave him back money to get back to the people, to put back into the economy. No. Fat cats sat there and gave themselves big bonuses. Is what they did. That's what happened. The money trickled down to foundations owned by president and the ex-president and Hillary Clinton's staff members and so on and so forth. The little foundations they got and all the little freaky handshakes they talk and put thumbs in each other's ass and shit like that with. Them people. See, with Tucker, he has to indirectly truth pill her ass. And with me, I don't gotta do that shit. I'm a fucking red pill the shit out. I'm gonna take her back of her head. Shut the fuck up. Take this fucking pill. I'm gonna put it in her mouth and I'm gonna make her choke on that shit. Because you can't spin this shit. You can't troll this shit. There is no alternative to it. When you continuously call a man Hitler to someone who's literally responsible for over 6 million people's death, you are telling him he's the fucking devil incarnated. And he's not. The same guy that was at 9/11 2-3 days afterwards with 200 of his own fucking workers picking people out the fucking rubbish, and he was breathing that shit in. Where the fuck was these animals at? Playing fucking golf. Bush was on fucking vacation. He came, he saw, he talked shit, and he left. Quick, fast. The ground was still smoking. Donald Trump was out there. Like a fucking leader. People talk about the Central Park 6. He was wrong. He said he was wrong. She was over 20 years ago. Could be 30. I fucking don't even know right now. I have to check. Can I blame him for something that happened? Imagine somebody blame me for some shit I did 15 years ago. Be sad. I'm no longer that guy. Can't hold him accountable for who he was back then. And we all changed. And even before that happened, he was founding the fucking Rainbow Coalition. So he couldn't have been because there were black kids, because there were Spanish kids involved in that shit too. He believed the cop because the cop was his friend. Like you will believe your friend if your friend told you he handled his business. He was wrong. That's the first time I knew he was wrong. And he wasn't a racist then either. He was someone clearly fucking upset because a woman was fucking raped. Fucking murdered. Had nothing to do with her color either. It's because if this was a comic book, aside from Marvel, of course, he would be Thanos Trump. But if this was DC, Donald Trump would be fucking Bruce Wayne of New York fucking City. That's why. He'd be fucking Batman of New York City. That's why. Because when they was fucking up with that skating arena and the ice skating arena, and it was Donald Trump donated it and fixed it. Every time there's been something wrong with the city, it's been Donald Trump that's been standing up and doing it. Clyde Frazier Jr., a black man, died in the World Trade Center. He had a business that allowed young black inner city girls to train to get into the WNBA. And when he died, they was going to have to close down that foundation. And Donald Trump paid for it out of his own fucking pocket to keep it going. And currently, while you black motherfuckers are calling him a racist, he's still paying for it right fucking now. The thing is, when you Bruce Wayne, you don't boast being Batman. So he's not running around telling black people what the fuck he done did for you. He don't got to do that because he's doing it. When you Batman, you don't tell people you fucking Bruce Wayne either. When you sit there and you say he took $1 million loan, it was $1 million. His father gave him $1 million. That was a fucking $1 million. He turned 1 million to billions of dollars and then turned that to fucking a presidency. A lot of you motherfuckers can't take $1,000 and turn it into $10,000. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. A lot of you cannot lose a business and then restructure it and make it a better business again. Be honest with yourself. Black people, you know we don't like people hating and shit like that, man. You know we love that fly rich shit, man. This nigga always been in our music, man. We always been fucking with him, man. He always been telling it like it is. Don't let these motherfuckers continue to gas us the fuck up, riding that dumbass wave they got going, because they want to continue to put niggas under and keep us locked the fuck up. I done told you this show how that shit worked already, right? I made it clear, right? I know I did. Where the fuck you getting locked up at? In Democratic neighborhoods. Then you get that felony on you, that scarlet letter, you can't even get a job. They don't even let you have a fucking housing apartment in the fucking housing projects if you got a felony. That's Democratic neighborhoods, family. That's state policies, man. Shorty got Section 8. She can't even have a man there. Every 6 months they come do an inspection to make sure no guy clothes is there. My man is in the house. That's the Democratic policies, fam. 1,800 black babies killed every single day because of abortion. Ironic, they call it Planned Parenthood, but they don't allow you to plan to become a parent. They only give you abortions. They'll check you for shit. Sure, they need a mask, but they give you abortions. They don't give you prenatal care. prenatal vitamins, prenatal services. They don't plan for parenthood. They plan for your destruction. These Democratic leaders are planning for your destruction. They're replacing you with a new illegal immigrant workforce that they themselves can enslave, mistreat, and underpay. I'm telling you. The majority of these illegal immigrants coming over here are staying on visas, and these people are criminals. In most cases. The people that are sneaking across the borders aren't honest people trying to come over here and find a living. In most cases, they are illegal criminals evading capture from their countries and forcing people to be drug mules to come over here with their kids. And for the very few that are taking the chances to do it, they're getting caught in the crossfires, and I can't have sympathy for you. Because no one got sympathy for me if I go outside and I do some illegal shit right now. If I go outside and I'm having a bad day and I whoop my neighbor's ass, no one's going to say, free Tony X. He's having a bad day. He made a mistake. My ass is going to go to jail. If I go on Walmart right now and I decide that I want to take a television and I don't want to pay for it, maybe I'll come back and pay for it tomorrow. That shit is a theft. They're going to lock my ass up. No one's going to say free Tony. He was going to pay for it tomorrow. It's not how this shit works. And if you do get over here and you have the right state of mind and you came here illegally, within the first 2 years, you should be trying to find a way to become legal. There's no reason why you should be here not doing so. Because you're already here living in fear and living as a criminal. And that in itself shouldn't be fair to you. And if you have children, it's not fair to your children. I asked my mother, because she got mad at me and she said I go hard on illegal aliens. And I said to her, would you take, I'm talking about my auntie mom. She has a 10-year-old son. I said, would you take him and cross the borders of Canada knowing that he could be raped and you could be raped? Knowing that they would force you to take drugs with you and they could take him away from you, even going across there getting caught, would you take that chance? She said, absolutely fucking not. So I said, so how the fuck can you be mad at me for people doing the same shit? And that stopped the whole argument. Because I hit home. She understood right then and there what I was talking about. Why do I need to give them an excuse? Why would you give them an excuse if they're doing something that you wouldn't even do yourself? I can't. Now that I know all the hard-working Mexicans that I've seen in California busting they fucking ass, I'm telling you. No. President Trump has a thing for MS-13. The fuck, I do too. They chopping people fucking heads off in the States. They're not a Mexican gang. They're not a Mexican gang. Mexico is a proud country. And globalists have been taking over the country. They have allowed drug trafficking to flourish there. They've oppressed their people. And no Mexican wants to leave their country. They want to stay there and make their country better. And they're looking for Americans to help them do that. And the best way by us doing that is to have constructive business with them and respect their culture and not allow the media to continuously personify them as a weak nation needing the United States because somehow they can't do it themselves. Because that in itself is fucking disrespectful. And that's why they don't like gringos. Because we step in on everyone's affairs and act like we're holier than thou, and that comes from globalists who step in and act like it's in our interest, but it's really in theirs, and they do so by procuring land from these other countries and then enslaving them somehow with economic sanctions, and none of these economic sanctions comes back to help the United States. It doesn't come back to help our tax system. It doesn't. None of these things gets us out of debt. They only give us enemies. They only provide us with more tension between nations. You guys, you people watching, and not my people. Those people. Scary. Real scary. I'm prepared for it. I'm not going to let you win. I'm not going to let you do it. I won't. You can't control the truth. The truth is something that resonates at a frequency that you can't douse. No chemtrails can docile that emotion. And you know it. That's why you play on it and you harmonize that frequency so people will believe. It's not going to work anymore because they understand what the true frequency is. We don't need your spectacular spins, your lies, your continued disrespect for the people of the nation, and for the Constitution, and for which it stands. You don't want black people to have a love for the flag or for the country or for the president because you don't want black people to actually have success in this country. If black Americans knew what we provided to this nation, no one would be trying to kill themselves outside. We'd all be rushing, trying to become the best we could be, because in a capitalist society, you're able to excel as an individual. We've proved time through history, like Black Wall Street before it was destroyed by the Democrats. Yes, it was. Democrats destroyed Black Wall Street. Oklahoma, yes. The Democrats dropped bombs on Black Wall Street, people. Those was Democrats that did that. And blacks, they were Republicans. That whole state was Republican. Check. Call me a liar. Go check. They were Republicans. It was a Republican town. Banks, airport, movie theaters, everything. All black owned. Successful Republican. Destroyed and bombed by Democrats. Yep. We can excel. We can provide for this country like we had before, but instead of being denied our true power, we can really become Americans with our brothers and sisters of every color and establish this country in its greatness that it can be. Donald Trump believes in us, and he has said it. He has offered to bring money to the inner cities to help businesses. He's offered to get you off of Section 8 and give you a loan for what you're worth so you can start a business and get off of it. And no one is listening. He's told all the NFL players, come with lists of people that have been mistreated or that have been locked up falsely, and my team and I will look into it to see if we can free them or pardon them. And no one has come to the table. Watch what I do.